Hey, Tom Beal here, and coming to you with one of my most influential and impactful mentors over the years, and it's the one and only Jim Rohn. And for those who have crossed paths with Jim and his materials, I know just like they have positively impacted my life and trajectory, I'm sure they have done the same for you. I've yet to come across anybody who has studied Jim's material who didn't not only enjoy it, but also didn't take massive notes and have ridiculously large numbers of epiphanies of seeing things through a different lens, having a different philosophy about life, about success, about what it takes to get from where you are to where you want to be. If you never cross paths with Jim, it's my complete honor and pleasure to introduce you to the man that has had such a dramatic impact on millions of lives, whether or not you've known of him or not. You see, Jim was the mentor to Tony Robbins. Tony actually worked with Jim when Tony was roughly 19 years old, selling Jim Rohn seminars. And that's where a lot of the information that Tony teaches came from working and mentoring with Jim for all those years. So it's funny because a lot of people when they'll cross paths with Tony first and then come across Jim will say, "Wow, well Jim talks a lot about the same stuff that Tony does." Like, of course, because Tony learned a lot of this stuff from the one and only Jim Rohn. So I clearly remember this day 10 years ago, and it's kind of interesting in my mind to go back a whole decade and picture where I was and what I was doing. And I know distinctly because 10 years ago tomorrow was when my father passed away at 56 years old due to cancer. And the day prior was when Jim Rohn passed away. And I remember because I was driving there listening to Jim on this particular training, the day that turns your life around, and listening to this en route from where I was in Webster, New York to Canandaigua, New York to visit my dad in the hospital. And 10 years ago we did have social media, and when I got to the hospital I actually heard that Jim had passed that day. And it was not unusual for me to be listening to Jim's material, but it was particularly special that day and memorable that day due to the circumstances. So think about it, 10 years ago, and watch how quickly 10 years goes by. So a couple big lessons here. One, 10 years have passed, and Jim has still touched and impacted thousands and millions of lives through the courses and through the programs that he put out during his life. So that's a big ding ding lesson light bulb moment for us. For people who feel that your personality, your experience, and your perspective can add value, it is your and my duty to get that value out there in a book, in an audio, in a video, in the various formats that are available today that weren't available decades ago when Jim began. Think back then, cassette tapes were the new, the new thing, and then CDs and online and all that stuff. So it's your duty, it's your responsibility, if you have knowledge that can be of value to others, to put that into a format that others can receive that knowledge, apply it to their life, and get from where they are to where they want to be. Because Jim was one of my mentors who's no longer here. Zig Ziglar is another. And Zig spoke to my heart and was the first mentor that was like, wow, if one day I could share my knowledge, share my insights with people that could change the trajectory of their lives the way that Zig has changed mine, that would be so amazing, so awesome. And that continued when I crossed paths with Jim Rohn, when I crossed paths with Tony Robbins, with Brian Tracy, with on and on and on, the litany of amazing experts who did put their knowledge into books, into audio programs, into video programs, created live courses for those seeking to get the similar results. So if you've yet to study all of Jim's material, I highly encourage you to go get your mind scrubbed clean and clear on what exactly it takes to get from where you are to where you want to be. And he's totally changed the perspective and the way that I look at so many aspects of life. So you can go get that at mustget.us/Jim Rohn, JIMROHN, mustget.us/Jim Rohn, and see this is one of many courses that he has, books, audios, videos that still 10 years after his passing can connect the dots in your brain and have you look at life through a different lens, see things through a new philosophy, and help you get from where you are to where you want to be quickly, efficiently and effectively. So, Jim, I'd like to thank you. You and I did cross paths. That picture of you and I is January of 2005. That was at an event in Dallas, Texas. Um, and that was the only time our paths crossed face to face. And I thanked you then and want to thank you again. Wherever you are, I know that you are resting in peace. And I want to thank you for all the knowledge and the wisdom that you transferred to me in that face to face meeting, and also at the videos that I was able to watch and the audios that I was able to watch from you that you put together. And I remember that event was a Jeffrey Combs event called More Heart Than Talent, January 2005 in Dallas, Texas. I actually have your journal over on my bookshelf here. I should have probably grabbed that out. I bought a few of the journals that were autographed by you, and I still have them to this day. So wanted to thank you for all that knowledge and wisdom that you shared during your lifetime, and it continues to pay it forward for those not even born yet, because you took that extra step and put it into books, put it into audios, put it into videos that can continue, not just this decade, this past since you've left to this realm, but many decades more. So hope this message finds you well wherever you are in the world. And if you've yet to study any of Jim's material and you're in the personal development world, or any type of business realm where you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, Jim Rohn is the business philosopher. I loved that title years ago and still love it to this day. And he is exactly that, the business philosopher who helps you change your philosophy, which in fact changes the way you think, speak, act, and achieve the dreams that you have. So check it out at mustget.us/Jim Rohn and see a whole bunch of the courses that are available for him, that you'll see his unique personality, his unique sense of delivery, and I see him as a comedian as well. He has lots of jokes that I laugh at, and many of my friends laugh at too. I hope you enjoy Jim as much as I did and still do, and just felt called to share on this 10-year anniversary of his passing my gratitude for all that he's done, and also spreading it forward to those who have yet to cross paths with Jim, or as this gentle reminder, if it's been a while since you studied his material, you might want to get back to it. It is very awesome. All right, thank you, and thank you, Jim Rohn, once again. Make today great. Bye for now.